Imagine walking into your favorite coffee shop, maybe your local grocery store. You pick up your usual stuff, maybe notice a new display. But have you ever stopped to think about what's happening just, beneath the surface? Or even right there in front of your eyes, things you might not consciously register. There's this kind of silent revolution underway, really, powered by AI and robotics. You might not even see it, but it's fundamentally changing how everything gets done, from counting coffee beans, literally, to packing your online order for delivery, like tomorrow morning. So today we're taking a deep dive into this really fascinating and rapidly evolving world of AI-powered robots in retail. Our mission basically is to explore how these technologies are transforming everything. From your local supermarket aisles, to those enormous e-commerce warehouses, we're looking especially at 2024 and 2025 developments. We've pulled together a pretty substantial stack of recent reports and news articles for this dive. You've got global sources like Reuters, consumer outlets like The Sun, some deep industry takes from Investors Business Daily, and analytical reports like from Brain Corp. This makes sure to give you a really comprehensive look at what's happening, the incredible efficiencies being gained, and also, crucially, the big questions these advancements raise for all of us. As consumers, as workers, we want you to walk away really well informed about the robots shaping the future of how you shop, and maybe even how you might work down the line. Okay, so if we're talking about this silent revolution, where do we first see these robots making an impact, in our daily lives? When you typically think of robots, it's maybe, I don't know, futuristic factories or sci-fi movies, right? But increasingly, they're working right alongside us, or even for us, in the very places we shop every single day, doing tasks that, well, once felt exclusively human.
That's a perfect starting point, actually, because what's truly fascinating here is how AI and robotics are tackling the seemingly mundane stuff.
Yeah.
The tasks that are incredibly critical within a store environment. These aren't just flashy gadgets or novelties anymore. They're solving very real-world operational challenges, problems retailers have struggled with for decades. It's really about optimizing the foundational aspects of retail, getting the basics right, but with tech.
Absolutely. And a great example of this, something you might have already experienced without even realizing it, comes from Starbucks. Just recently, September 2025, they rolled out an AI-powered inventory management system across, get this, over 11,000 North American stores. So their employees are now using these in hand tablets, right?
Yeah.
Equipped with Nomad Go software. And this system leverages a combination of things: 3D spatial intelligence, computer vision, so the tablet can basically see and understand its surroundings, and augmented reality too.
Yeah, and what this really signals is a fundamental shift in how retailers approach inventory. It's huge. Instead of, a manager maybe manually checking stock once a week, or worse, only noticing when something popular runs out, Starbucks employees can now do inventory counts up to 8 times more frequently. Just think about that. Think about the impact. It significantly cuts down the time staff spend buried in the back room. It streamlines restocking. It helps ensure shelves are always stocked to meet demand. It's moving from just reacting to problems, finding what's missing, to proactively optimizing, almost predicting what you'll want before you even realize it's running low.
Right. So it's not just about counting faster, is it? It's about that data-driven precision preempting issues. That has to be a game changer for customer satisfaction and cutting down on waste. But this kind of intelligence, it isn't limited to handheld devices, is it? Because you've highlighted a critical tension there, the push for efficiency versus, concerns around privacy. Around late August, early September of 2025, the UK supermarket Asda took a different path. They implemented AI-powered cameras from Focal Systems in 5 pilot stores.
Indeed. And these aren't just your standard security cameras. They're intelligence systems. They're designed to automatically monitor shelves every hour, detecting everything from low stock and misplaced products to incorrect pricing, even spotting spoiled goods. Now, while the aim is clearly efficiency, reducing food waste, preventing lost sales, this kind of constant automated shelf-level surveillance, it did spark debates, understandably, about customer privacy and data collection. It really highlights that delicate balance retailers need to strike, doesn't it, between using cutting-edge tech for operational gains and keeping customer trust. You're walking into a store and it's subtly being, read by AI.
That's a really powerful point about finding that ethical sweet spot. But speaking of efficiency and constant monitoring, retailers aren't just relying on static cameras anymore. We're seeing actual autonomous shelf auditing robots roaming the aisles now. Take Heinen's, for example, a regional grocery chain in Brecksville, Ohio. Back in July 2025, they deployed Simbe Robotics' Tally robot. So what exactly is Tally doing as it, rolls through the store?
Well, Tally autonomously navigates the aisles multiple times a day, just cruises around.
Yeah.
It uses its own advanced computer vision system to scan products, and it does it with an impressive 99% accuracy rate. And it's not just looking for out of stocks, it also spots incorrect pricing, makes sure promotional displays are compliant, and it gathers incredibly valuable store analytics, stuff that humans would take hours, maybe even days to compile manually. It's basically a mobile data collection hub feeding real-time insights back to store management.
Wow, 99% accuracy. And this is just happening in smaller chains or one region, right?
Yeah.
Morrisons, one of the UK's biggest supermarket chains, they rolled out Tally robots too, in 3 locations, Wetherby, Redcar, and Stockton. That was back in May 2025. What kind of scale are we talking about with the Morrisons? And what was their main motivation?
The scale's pretty significant. These Tally robots can scan between 15,000 and 30,000 items per hour. Per hour, and they maintain that same 99% accuracy, which is, well, truly remarkable when you think about it. They're just relentlessly tracking stock levels, identifying errors, pinpointing misplaced items. But the key takeaway here, from Morrison's perspective anyway, is that by automating these repetitive, often tedious, time-consuming tasks, they're freeing up their human employees, letting them focus on direct customer service. So instead of spending hours checking shelves, staff can actually engage with shoppers, offer help, handle more complex issues. It kind of elevates the human role, doesn't it? From operational grunt work to something more relational that human touch robots just can't replicate.
That's a fascinating way to put it, not just saving labor, but recalibrating the value of human interaction in retail. So if your local store staff seem more attentive, maybe it's because a robot just handled the inventory check. Interesting. And we've seen other big players like Kroger also getting into this aisle automation game. What have they been up to with their Barney robot?
Right, Kroger. By April 2025, they introduced a robot from Badger Technologies, affectionately nicknamed Barney, apparently. They put it into 70 of their stores. And like Tally, Barney just roams the aisles, constantly scanning inventory in real time. This helps staff be updated on product availability, lets them quickly find items for customers or restock shelves before they even run empty. It's all about creating a more responsive and efficient shopping environment for you, the customer.
You know, what truly stands out reading through all of this data, all these reports, is that these aren't just isolated experiments anymore, are they? Not just in a few niche stores. We're witnessing a real shift from like novelty tech to absolute necessity. It feels like we're at an inflection point.
Oh, we absolutely are. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, there was a Brain Corp report from early 2025. It positioned 2024 as a real breakthrough year for retail robotics. They noted major progress in autonomous capabilities, robots getting significantly better at navigating complex, dynamic environments like busy store aisles, better at identifying errors with greater precision, and integrating more seamlessly with human teams. It really frames 2025 as this pivotal year, where robotics is transitioning from just pilot projects to scalable, essential deployments within the retail sector. The technology is maturing fast, and the return on investment, well, it's becoming undeniable for these retailers.
Okay, so that covers the stores themselves. But beyond the aisles, these AI and robotics advancements are having an even more profound impact, right? Almost unseen. I'm talking about the vast logistics networks that get products to you. Especially with online shopping, this is where the scale of automation really just, well, blows your mind.
It truly does. And what's fascinating here is how automation isn't just handling basic material movement anymore, moving boxes from point A to point B. It's increasingly taking on sophisticated, complex tasks in e-commerce fulfillment, things that traditionally required human dexterity, human decision-making. We're moving way beyond just transporting pallets around a warehouse.
When you say sophisticated, what kind of tasks are we actually talking about? Does that include things like packing delicate items? Because that sounds incredibly tricky for a machine. Let's look at Ocado, for instance, the online grocer.
Absolutely. Ocado is a prime example. In late August 2025, they unveiled new advancements at their Luton Fulfillment Center in the UK. Their grid system already orchestrates hundreds of robots moving groceries around, which is amazing in itself. But now they've introduced new OGRP robotic arms. And these arms are capable of packing complex grocery items, including delicate produce like a ripe avocado or a fragile carton of eggs. It's a remarkable feat of engineering and AI, really. Currently, they say about 40% of their orders are packed entirely by robots, with projections to scale that up to an astonishing 80%. Just demonstrates how robotics can now handle increasingly nuanced tasks that, well, used to require a human's touch and judgment.
40 to 80%.
Yeah.
That's a massive leap in capability. And if we look at Amazon, I mean, their scale in this arena is just unprecedented, isn't it?
Yeah.
Setting the benchmark for the whole industry. What's the latest from them?
Yeah, Amazon's scale is staggering. As of June 2025, they disclosed they already employ over 750,000 robots. And get this, these robots are handling approximately 75% of all customer orders in some capacity. That number just underscores their commitment to automation. But they're not just deploying more robots, they're constantly innovating with new capabilities too. They introduced the Vulcan robot, for instance. It's equipped with advanced tactile sensors, so think touch. This allows Vulcan to handle items with much greater dexterity and precision, further pushing the boundaries of what robots can actually do in a warehouse setting.
And it gets even bigger, doesn't it? By July 2025, Amazon hit this huge milestone. They deployed their 1 millionth robot worldwide. 1 million robots. That's moving closer to parity with their 1.5 million human employees. So it's incredible. But they're not stopping there, right? To make this massive robotic workforce even more efficient, they introduced something called Deep Fleet, a generative AI system.
Exactly. Deep Fleet is potentially a massive game changer within their operations. It's a generative AI system designed specifically to dynamically learn and then create optimal pathways and workflows for their vast robot fleet in real time. They claim it boosts overall efficiency by a remarkable 10%. So it's not just about the sheer number of robots, it's this AI layer orchestrating them all for maximum output and minimal wasted motion. This is really the cutting edge of logistics intelligence.
So boiling it down, what does all this mean for the speed and ultimately the cost of your deliveries, especially when Amazon is setting such a high bar for everyone else?
Well, Amazon's strategic bet on robotics and AI is crystal clear. They see it as absolutely critical to achieving long-term cost savings, maximizing productivity, and importantly, they often argue, improving workplace safety by having robots handle the repetitive or potentially hazardous tasks. Their advancements, particularly with things like Deep Fleet, are directly enabling them to offer faster and cheaper deliveries. And that continually influences and reshapes global supply chain standards. Essentially, they're setting the pace, and every other retailer is scrambling to keep up. This means the pressure is really on for everyone to automate if they want to compete on delivery speed and price. End of the day, it impacts your wallet and your wait time.
Okay, so we've seen the incredible efficiencies, the capabilities of these AI-powered robots. It's impressive stuff. From AI on tablets at Starbucks counting inventory, autonomous robots like Tally auditing shelves in grocery stores, to advanced robotic arms packing delicate produce at Ocado, and Amazon deploying 1 million robots optimized by generative AI. These systems, they're clearly not some futuristic dream anymore, are they? They're actively shaping your shopping experience right now. But as these technologies become more commonplace, they inevitably raise important questions. Big questions about their impact on people, both customers and employees.
Right, and this truly raises a complex, crucial question. How do we as a society balance this? Balance the accelerating technological advancement and the undeniable benefits it brings, faster deliveries, fresher produce, maybe lower prices, with the very real concerns it creates. Concerns around things like customer privacy and, of course, human livelihoods. It's not a simple equation, is it? Not just good versus bad. It's more like a spectrum of challenges and opportunities we have to navigate.
Absolutely. And the discussion around job displacement versus augmentation, that's particularly contentious. Our sources really highlight the different perspectives emerging here. You take Morrison's, for instance. They found their Tally robots were apparently largely well received by staff and customers back in May 2025, mainly because, as you said, they freed employees to focus on customer service, which sounds positive. But that same initiative still sparked broader concerns about long-term job displacement within the retail sector as a whole. So a localized benefit versus a bigger sectoral worry.
And we see similar mixed reactions elsewhere, too. Kroger insists its Barney robot, the one deployed in April 2025, supports rather than replaces employees, makes them more effective. However, public reaction, well, it's been far from monolithic, hasn't it? Some customers, and certainly advocacy groups, are genuinely worried about the implications for retail jobs down the road. They fear these systems are just the thin end of the wedge, leading eventually to fewer human roles. Is that tension again, the immediate benefits seen by some staff versus the broader systemic concerns about the future of work.
And Amazon, despite deploying 1 million robots by July 2025, they maintain a similar stance, don't they? They assert that these robots aren't replacing workers, but augmenting them, enabling those faster, cheaper deliveries we talked about. They argue it allows humans to focus on higher value tasks, more complex problem solving. But this ongoing development, hitting 1 million robots and still counting it, really highlights that persistent tension between rapid technological progress and, well, legitimate labor concerns. especially as automation becomes so central to their massive operations.
It's a debate we're going to keep hearing a lot about, no doubt, and the nuances are absolutely crucial. It's probably not just about jobs disappearing entirely, but maybe more about how the nature of jobs themselves is changing rapidly. Will we see a net positive in job creation in totally new areas, or will there be a significant shift in the skills required, potentially leaving some workers behind? These are the big questions.
And beyond jobs, there's that whole issue of customer privacy, which we touched on with Asda earlier. Their implementation of those AI-powered shelf monitoring cameras reported late August, early September 2025. That specifically sparks debates about customer privacy and data surveillance within stores. I mean, it's one thing for a camera to provide security, right? It's maybe another thing for it to constantly analyze customer behavior or potentially identify products in their basket automatically.
That really underscores the critical tightrope retailers have to walk. They undeniably want the efficiency gains, the reduced waste, the valuable operational insights these technologies offer. Of course they do. But they absolutely have to maintain customer trust. That's paramount. If customers start to feel overly watched, or if they perceive their privacy as being eroded just for a slightly more efficient shopping trip, it could quickly backfire. Damage brand loyalty, lead to regulatory pushback maybe. The question becomes, where is the line and who gets to draw it?
It's clear then, this isn't a simple black and white picture at all. There are significant tangible benefits for businesses, and often for consumers too, better prices, faster service. But there are also real complex challenges, ethical dilemmas, things we're only just beginning to grapple with as these technologies become more and more woven into our daily lives, transforming everything from, the humble coffee bean count to your next day delivery. So we've covered a really remarkable transformation today, haven't we? From AI on handheld tablets at Starbucks, making inventory almost effortless, and autonomous robots like Tally auditing shelves in your local grocery store, to those advanced robotic arms packing delicate produce at Ocado, and Amazon deploying 1 million robots orchestrated by generative AI to optimize their massive fulfillment engine. These sophisticated systems, they're not science fiction anymore. They're actively shaping your shopping experience right now, working tirelessly behind the scenes, and sometimes right out there in front of you. So looking ahead, as AI and robotics become even more deeply integrated into every single aspect of retail, what does this mean? What does it mean for the evolution of the retail workforce, say, over the next decade? Will we see a complete redefinition of jobs? Maybe new roles emerging that we can barely even imagine today? Or will human creativity, empathy, problem solving, will they simply find new, augmented roles, working synergistically side by side with their robotic counterparts? It's definitely something for you to consider the next time you step into a store. Maybe just with a simple click, send your shopping list off into the automated future.